It was Duchess.
But that didn't last long, because on March 3rd, Katie and Chris spoke to the podcast Duchess about Sebastian's disappearance, and this was their first interview with the media.
This episode contains content that may be disturbing or sensitive to listeners. Discretion is advised.
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Hey everyone, welcome to Duchess Discussions, where we talk about true crime and missing cases. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing to this channel and liking and sharing this video out. We are going to be talking about Madalina Cojocari's case today. She has been missing since November of 2022 out of Cornelius, North Carolina. And anybody who has been watching my channel knows that I have been covering Madalina's case since she went missing in 2022, but we have some recent updates, and there is a lot of people that may not know about what has occurred in Madalina Cojocari's case. So we're going to do a little recap, talk about the things that have happened over the course of the last few years, and I'm going to share that update with you guys because I think you'll find it very, very interesting. So I want to welcome everybody in. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to go over to the comments and say hey to everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hey, Heidi. Heidi says, I'll be working and watching. I'm familiar with her case, but I don't know everything. Thank you so much for being here, Heidi. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here. If anybody doesn't know, Michelle is the queen, and she is the admin. She is the head of everything. So if you come into this chat and you cause derision and make a scene, Michelle will happily escort you out the door. So, hey, Cat's Eye, so good to see you. Duchess with a drive-by. That's exactly right, because I came in and said, hey, I will be in shortly. Hey, so good to see you, Pointer Lover. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate you so very much. Hey, Chatty, thank you for being a member. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Amethyst, thank you for being a member. I hope you're doing good. It's good to see you. I think there's a lot of people probably live right now. Hey, Lisa Joe. So good to see you. Hope you're well. Everybody having a good Sunday? It's been a nice weekend. Everybody knows it was my birthday yesterday. And guess what? I don't feel any different today. Just so you know, but I wanted to thank you guys so much for all of your birthday wishes. And I wanted to thank my very sweet friends who sent me some beautiful gifts. I love you guys so very much. It really, really made my day. Thank you, Michelle and Heidi. Love you guys so much. Hey, Evil Queen Yaya. So good to see you. I hope you're good. Thank you for being here. Hey, Avi. Now, listen, I heard TikTok was down. I couldn't get on my TikTok last night. I made my goodbye TikTok message. And then Michelle sent me a message and said that TikTok was back up. Well, guess what? I erased it off my phone because I'm having some problems with my Samsung S22, and they sent me a new phone. And I can't get the app. Like, it says that it's still not working. So I can't even download the app to my phone. So it is what it is. You can find me on Instagram. If you go to the About section of my channel, you can see all the links to all of my socials. I'm on X, I am on Facebook, and I am on Instagram. And if they bring TikTok back, well, I will be back on TikTok, I guess. I guess we shall see. Hey, Steph. Not that Steph. Don't side-eye me. So good to see you. Hey, Shaylee. Shaylee says, be yourself. I like that. I like your name, Shaylee. That's exactly right. Hey, Catering Winch. Thank you so much for being a member. Duchess. I know. Let me see. I think I still have that over here somewhere. We need a little bit of that in our lives today.
Did y'all not see it? It was Duchess. Did y'all not see it? It was Duchess.
I swear, y'all, that just cracks me up so much. Hey, Cash. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a member. Duchess-san, just popping in to say, hey, I'll be watching you. I appreciate you being here, Cash. Thank you so much. Hey, Nicole. Hope you're doing good. Hey, CLK. Thank you for being a member. Thank you. Wait, Lisa Joe, it is minus 20? Stop it. I'm over here fussing that it might snow this week in South Carolina. But that's because, y'all, we don't get snow. The last time we had snow, it was actually ice, and that was 2014. I think we did have some flurries in like 2017, but there wasn't anything that even touched the ground. It was just like a few little white flakes in the air, and then that was it. Y'all, it's 60 degrees here in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina today, and I can't even explain it. It's pouring down rain and 60 degrees, but it says we're going to get snow Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's Michelle's fault, and I'm blaming her, and she's going to tell me in the chat, I told you so. Yeah, I see it's back up, but I cannot download the app, y'all. I'm telling you, I can't. But you can go to the About section and find my socials, and whenever I can get that app downloaded, I'll be back over there on TikTok, I reckon, making my funny videos. Nicole, it says it's not available in my country too. So I don't know. Hey, Baton Rouge, thank you so much. And thank you so much for your gift to me that you sent me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I will go buy me lots of coffee with that. Yeah, Apple and Google removed the app from their stores. Yeah, so I can't download it. I have to switch to my new phone, and it is not available on my new phone. So I can't access TikTok. Yeah, you've heard people that deleted it can't re-download it. I can't access it. I deleted it because I'm going to lose the app when I switch over. I switched to my phone. I haven't got everything downloaded, but on my new phone, TikTok is not available because I had to get my new phone. So it's not on there. I don't even know what to do. So I guess my TikTok is there, but Amethyst says Trump says he'll consider a 90-day extension for TikTok. Well, what does that mean for people that can't re-download the app? I mean, how is that helpful? Like, I have to switch phones and it's not available. That's crazy. Oh, Lord, your ears are bleeding now. Help, help. They're calling for snow there too. Oh, my Lord. Lisa Jo says, I'm in northern Minnesota. Oh, I don't know how you do it. My Instagram is at Dutch for Missing. And you can find it in the About section of my channel. You can click on the link there in my About section. Yeah, I already had a TikTok, but because I deleted the app because of my phone, I don't know. It's crazy. -11 in Michigan. Pointer lover. Yes, it's 60. Get on down here. Get on down here before. Stop it, Michelle. Stop. Hey, Xena with Fire. I wanted you to know that I sent all of those links to Jason Ealer, and I know he's very grateful for that. So thank you. Wait a minute. You found me? Yay! Yay, yay, yay. -30. Y'all got to stop coming in here with these negatives. I can't handle it. I'll keep my 60 degrees. I wish it would stay 60 all the time. Michelle, I'm irritated because Michelle was like, it's gonna snow. And I was like, no, it's not. And she was like, yes, it is. Y'all see what happened? It says it's gonna snow. It just doesn't do that in South Carolina, y'all. I can't. Hey, Sugar Magnolia. I ain't seen you in a while, darling. I hope you're doing good. It's so good to see you. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. Is the music too loud? Let me know. Let me go over here to my media assets. Because I did all that yapping and I just realized my music was still up. Is the music too loud? Because if it is, I'll cut it down. Hey, Revival. It's a balmy -2 where you are. Oh, my gracious. I think there's a lot of people that's going to be affected by this incoming winter storm. How it's 60 degrees and raining here right now, I can't even make sense of it. It was the high on my birthday was like 47 degrees yesterday, and it poured rain all day yesterday. So I think that's why people are sick. Mama Cat says 25 degrees here with a wind chill at 14. Oh, y'all, I'm getting the shivers, and I'm inside my house just reading y'all's comments. Thank you for being here, Bama Cat. I hope you're well. Lisa Jo says, I'm sure the pointers are not impressed. I have toddlers, and they don't seem to mind, but they're nuts. My St. Bernard doesn't even want to be outside right now, and that's saying something if your St. Bernard don't want to be outside, because they are snow animals. My mama had a St. Bernard before I was born. That was her baby for 3 years before I came into the world in 1974. And her name was Tammy. And she was huge. And I remember my mom told me that my dad let Tammy out. I think it was a big snowstorm in 72 in Greensboro, North Carolina. And him and Tammy went romping in the snow, and Mama was still in the bed, And he let Tammy back in the house, and Tammy ran and jumped in the bed with Mama covered in snow. And Mama said that she about flipped her wig. Yeah, AV, I use CapCut too. And of course, CapCut is also owned by TikTok. And I was paying for CapCut, so I had to cancel my subscription because I got notified that CapCut is also down. I do hope it will be back because I like to make my videos there. Sugar Magnolia says 26 degrees in Tennessee. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, AP, good afternoon to you. Elicar Martinez, let me get over here because it looks like you want some attention. So before I get started, I'm going to give you some. Let me go over here and find your comment, love. I don't know if I can even see you on here. Oh, stop talking in that feigned Southern accent. Well, you know what? I wish I could fake it till I make it, but you know what, honey? This is how it is. I am born and raised in the South, and if you don't like it, you can just click yourself right on out of this live stream, honey. You know what I'm saying? May the force be with you, Elcar. Hey, Nonsense. So good to see you. I hope you're doing good. Zena says that we're sick because it don't get colder than 20 degrees, negative 20 degrees. You think that's why? Oh, we don't get in the negative down here for sure. That could be true. That's your fourth St. Bernard? I know my mama misses that dog. You know what? This brings me to a very good point. Nonsense says it makes you realize if they can, at the push of a button, shut down TikTok, what they could really do to stop some other things. This brings me to the point of if they can take down TikTok and CapCut, how come they can't take down these? Listen, why is Pornhub still up? I mean, I feel like that's a source of a lot of problems. And how come they can't stop all this, these child trafficking sites? How come they can't shut down the dark web? Stop it. Thank you, AV. I mean, it just, yeah, it really comes out when I'm mad. It really, really does. I know. Bless their heart. Hey, Alice. I'm so glad to see you. Elcar is just all in his feelings. He's just a troll. We just need to throw some holy water and put on our tinfoil hats and seatbelts. Yeah, I mean, y'all see some of this stuff that's getting posted around here. It's crazy. Amethyst, I agree. We need the judicial system to catch up with social media and create laws to protect victims, families, and the public as a whole. And I did share in my Discord, and let me get over here because I want to, if you're not in my Discord, members on the top 3 tiers, if you want to come over to the Discord, that's where we share cases. But I did post for the public chat to take a look at. I know Cash Vernon family has, you know, they have been fighting for victims. And I know that the U.S. Congress H.R. 8866 bill, we can take a look at that. This is the Advocates for Families Act of 2024. And you can search this on Track Bill. And this bill basically is to amend a subpart of a title of the Social Security Act to require states as a condition of federal support for child welfare services programs to facilitate access to advocates and advocacy resources for parents in any child welfare case or interaction involving a child of a parent or for other purposes. And it talks about family advocates in child welfare cases, as such as including missing cases. And I think this is so important. It was introduced to the House on June 27th in 2024, and it was referred to the Subcommittee on Work and Welfare on December 17th of 2024. The Representative Barry Moore is the primary sponsor on this. He is a Republican, and then there is a representative that's a Democrat, and that is Susan Wild. So we have two people that are supporting this grassroots advocacy for the Advocates for Families Act for 2024. And I think that is so wonderful. We do what we can. And I think it's wonderful that they're doing that. Wait a minute, Nightbot got somebody? Who's Nightbot getting? Nightbot, are you over there acting up in chat, or are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Let me go see what's happening. Who did Nightbot get? Tarq, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. If you received a membership, please, please, please thank them. I appreciate that. That is a great way to pay it forward in this channel, is to gift a membership. That means so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for gifting another membership. I appreciate that. Yay, Far. I appreciate it. Please thank them if you received a membership. Lisa Joe got that membership. Thank you, Lisa Joe. And Jennifer Lynn. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Dutch Bus. COK, thank you for being a member for a month, love. I appreciate you so very much for supporting this mission. Amethyst, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, thank you. If you received a membership from Amethyst Moon, aka Hoodie and a Crowbar, and if you're not careful, she might use that crowbar in this chat to take you on out. Thank you so much for gifting that. Pursuing Peace, Sunflower Sandra, Kel, Kenna B, It's All My Opinion, and Forever Army. Welcome to the Dutch Bus. I appreciate you, Amethyst. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Chico. Wait, your Great Pyrenees won't move off the couch? Actually, my pit bull is asleep right now, so I'm taking advantage of every moment that I've got right here. Hey, Chico, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed your outing with your friend. Hey, NorCal Jim. Thanks for being here. Hope you're good. Hey, Mary Harris. Thanks for being here. All right. So is the music good? Are we good with the music? Does the volume sound good? Put me a 1 in the chat if you think that the volume on the music is good, and then we're going to get started. I've got some links in the description about what we're going to talk about. Hey, Not a Drama Nana. Thanks for being here. All right, good. Everything's good. Perfect. Hey, Weed Gobshit. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope you're good. Happy Sunday to everybody. We're going to talk about Madalina Cojocari's case. And you guys can go watch my videos that we've discussed on this channel. I've made some missing flyers for Madalina, but a lot has happened in this case. And Derrick Levasseur made a video that kind of walked a lot of this information back for us. And there is a new update that was released on Friday, on my dad's birthday. And when I was perusing a bunch of different updates and sharing some missing cases, I saw they had an update. Cornelius, North Carolina is only about 3 hours northwest of me. So it's right across the state line from South Carolina into North Carolina. And this is right next to Charlotte, North Carolina. So, hey, Titanium Bill. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hey, Flies. Hey, darling. Thank you for being here. Hey, Cheapskate. Wait a minute, your Staffy stole your spot on the couch. My Staffy's laying on my lap, so I'm stuck in it right now. But she's resting, so that means she's not gonna hopefully be interrupting too much. So let me show you. This is a flyer that I had originally made for Madalina back when she went missing. 11/23/2022. Last seen at her home in Cornelius, North Carolina. Last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and a white t-shirt. She was 11 years old when she went missing. She's a Caucasian female from Moldova. That's where her mom is from. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She's 4 feet, 10 inches tall, 90 pounds. Her stepfather and mother were arrested for not reporting her disappearance. And these are the numbers to Cornelius Police Department and the North Carolina FBI. This is out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's our North Carolina FBI number. This was a flyer that I made back then. And since then, things have really taken a turn. This is the most recent flyer that I have made for Madalina. And on December 15th at approximately 1:12 p.m., the Cornelius Police Department began investigating the missing persons report involving the juvenile. The parents of the juvenile reported Madalina missing to the Bailey Middle School SRO, where the juvenile attended school. The juvenile was last seen at home on the evening of November 23rd of 2022 and has not been seen since. This is an active investigation still, and the police department is asking the public for any information they may have on the whereabouts of Madalina Cojocari. She was an 11-year-old female at the time, weighing approximately 90 pounds, last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and a white t-shirt and jacket. There is currently a $25,000 reward leading to Madalina. If you have information, please do call the Cornelius Police Department or contact your nearest FBI office. Hey, Ava Hawkshaw, good to see you, darling. Thank you for being here. This case has had me messed up from the beginning because, as many of you know, Madalina was last seen on the footage on a school bus, getting off the school bus. We still don't really have a lot of answers. But a lot of things have taken place. Here's a picture of Madalina on that school bus. She was a 6th grader at the time, and you can see here that the footage from the school bus that was pulled is from 11/21/2022 at 4:59 p.m. Now, there's been some other missing flyers that have been made for Madalina by the Cornelius Police Department. And if the moderators would mind dropping the link for the FBI is sharing this case out, and we are going to take a look at that. So let me get over here. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to look at what the FBI has to say about Madalina. I'm going to make sure I put this on full screen so you guys can see that. Most Wanted, and of course that is Most Wanted has several different categories for the FBI. They have the Most Wanted fugitives, capital violence, terrorism, parental kidnappings, seeking information, and they also have kidnappings / missing persons. So just because this is all grouped together doesn't mean that every person listed under this has been kidnapped. It's just all under one heading under the FBI. And here you can see Madalina Cojocari listed November 21st, 2022, because that was the actual last time that she was seen on footage. And here we have her flyer. Right here, she was born April 11th of 2022. And there's some pictures of Madalina. Last seen on surveillance video getting off her school bus outside her home in Cornelius, North Carolina on November 21st of 2022 and has not been seen since. Now, she was reported missing to her school December, y'all, the 15th, because her parents reported last seeing her on 11/23. And that has always really concerned me because, you know, the school actually had to call and say, hey, Madalina's not been to school. And like, why would you not report your child has not been seen? That was a huge red flag for me. Huge red flag. Now, both of her parents have spent time in jail for not reporting her missing. But both have said that they don't know where Madalina is. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but in September of 2024, Madalina's mother left the United States. She was confirmed to have left the United States, according to a spokesperson for Homeland Security investigation, although it's not known when exactly she left the country. And that happened after she got out of jail, because she served her time for not reporting Madalina missing. And she was formally named a suspect in the young girl's 2022 disappearance. And never before July since the girl was last seen had a suspect been officially named in the case. But, you know, according to a former FBI agent, M. Quentin Williams, he said that Diana Cojocari leaving the United States creates some more obstacles as investigators continue to try to find Madalina. Diana was released from jail in May, a day after pleading guilty to failing to report her daughter's disappearance. She had previously pleaded not guilty to the charge, and her release was possible because the maximum prison sentence is 24 months, minus the time already served. And at the time, Diana Cojocari spent 520 days in jail after being arrested in December of 2022. Now, a jury found Christopher Palmer, the stepdad, guilty of failing to report the disappearance of Madalina earlier in 2024, and they only deliberated 15 minutes in his trial. But neither Diana nor Christopher Palmer have ever been charged with anything other than failure to report Madalina's disappearance. And all these years later, January of 2025, there are still so many unanswered questions, but there has been an update. So I wanted to make sure that we discuss that today. And the 2 years article from WCNC News, that is a local news station out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So if anybody wants to go read the article where I'm sharing this information from, I just shared it. And I'm going to go over here to the chat, see what you guys are saying, because I can't see the chat when I'm sharing my screen. Holy Roman Emperor Pope Aries, your names crack me up. I'm telling you. All is well, Aries. Thank you so much for being here. The school actually called the parents to report her missing, and they notified law enforcement. So, yeah. It's kind of crazy, for sure. It's kind of crazy. Hey, Nana L, thank you for being here. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Pika. Sharon Johnston, good to see you. This case disturbs me. They need to find that poor girl. They sure do. Hope you're doing well, Sharon. Yes, please share this out. Please share this out. Thank you for being here, Titanium. I really appreciate you. Sometimes I got to catch you on the replay, but I do enjoy watching your streams. So thank you for being here. Mods, if y'all could share out these creators in the chat, if you could share their channels, I'd appreciate it. Amethyst has a channel, Titanium, Nonsense. We got a bunch of people over here. Chico. Hey, Prime Paula. Yeah, something is not right about that. Me too. Me too. It really irritates me. And listen, you guys know I don't like to sit over here and speculate and talk trash about parents and all that. I just try to wait for law enforcement to come out. But don't think I'm not side-eyeing all the information that the law enforcement has actually put out, because Dutchie got questions. Dutchie always going to have questions. Yeah, and there's no extradition treaty either, because Moldova is not a country where extradition, they have that link with the United States. The road trip, the stepdad did take a road trip to Michigan, but also Madalina Cojocari took a road trip to Western North Carolina. So let's not forget that. There was 2 road trips. We're going to talk about some of that. Yes, Chico. See, you just thought it was the craziness in Tennessee, but I'm telling you, the Carolinas got some crazy cases too, and this is one of them. And y'all, the update is crazy. The stepdaddy is still in Cornelius. He's out of jail, and he did his time, and it's crazy. Thank you, Sharon, so much for your $5. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Chico, I'm telling you, wait till you hear the update. Nana L, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Dutch Bus Express, or as I like to call it, the MLM, Missing Lives Matter. I agree why you feel that way. It's very, very concerning. Catering Witch says, I watched the stepfather's trial. The relationship marriage with Madeline's mom is odd. More like roommates. Yeah, apparently I did hear from, and we're going to watch the information about that. I'm going to show it to you, that the marriage was never consummated. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's weird. Me too, Amanda. Thank you for being here. It makes me upset as well. Hi, Lake Erie 58. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the channel. Aries does always have the best names. Thank you so much, Tempest. I had a wonderful birthday. Nana L, it's so concerning. I can't believe that's all the time she got too, but that's all the evidence they have so far. But I do believe they're collecting everything that they can. Hey, the good Nunya. Hope you're doing good. Oh, we got some 1s in the chat. Well, I mean, a lot of people have said that that's what they thought. So I'm going to take you over here because I want you guys to see something. This has played out in such an odd case. And I feel like Derrick Levasseur gives us a really good summary about all of the things. And of course, I really like him. He gave me a shout out on his channel. I'm going to stop the music here for a minute. And I really do appreciate him, talking about Sebastian's case. But Derrick is a former detective, and he does talk about a lot of cases on his channel. And he did also talk about Madalina's case about 7 months ago. And I think taking a look at his video, I do want to drop his link in the chat because all credit goes to him. I want to talk about his video that he did. So I'm going to go over here and grab that link on my phone so I can drop it so that you guys can take a look at it. And you'll have the link. It's also in the description of this video. All the links that I cover are in the description of the video. But I do feel like Derrick really gives us a good walk back of the things that have transpired that's important to know in this case. And this is a link to Derrick's video. So I just want to make sure that we give him credit. Shout out to Derrick for that. So we are going to look at that. And then I want to share some updates and talk about a few of the things that I think are concerning. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to share my screen. Is the volume good, everybody? Can everybody hear everything pretty good? Thank you, Nightbot, for dropping the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. All right. I want to make sure that you guys got a good view. Sounds good to you, Tempest? Okay, great. Hey, mother of two boys. Oh, I'm on top messages. If y'all were on top messages, make sure you're on all messages because I'm always on top messages, even on my live stream. I'm on my phone. I'm always on top messages. I cannot. It's just a thing. So if you're on top messages, please switch to all messages and join the conversation because I like to hear. Listen, you can share your thoughts and opinions, but I just ask that you guys be respectful to each other in chat. We can have, this is not an echo chamber. I just don't want anybody like saying untrue, hateful, harassing, ridiculous things in the chat. You guys know the rules. And if you don't know the rules, well, I'll put them in the chat for you right now. But I'm sure that Michelle has already dropped them. But we're cool if you follow the rules. Be nice in these streets. No hate speech. Be respectful. No bashing. Dress up your cursey words. We welcome all opinions. Amethyst says, I believe the U.S. has suspended deportations to Moldova. If convicted of a deportable offense, they sit on a list and report to ICE every 2 years. Interesting that the mother left the U.S. Yeah, I feel certain. And when you guys hear the update, it's going to be very interesting. But I want to make sure we walk it back because I want you guys to get the gist because there's a lot of people who are not aware of this case. And I feel like Derrick does a really good job at talking about all of the important things. So I want you guys to hear that. Again, credit to Derrick Levasseur. If you're not subbed up to his channel, please do go over and subscribe to him. I appreciate all the things that he does. And Michelle says, and if you don't follow the rules, please don't ask me or Nightbot why we timed you out. Period. Thank you, Michelle, for that notification. And Pika says, we are all adults that had home training, so let's act like it here. Preach it. Preach. Okay. So let's take a listen to what Derrick has to say about this. And if there is something that I'm going to be watching the chat on my phone because I can't see it on my laptop. But if there's something that we need to address, like I will stop it and we'll talk about it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Detective Perspective. My name is Derrick Levasseur. I'm a licensed private investigator and former police detective. Each week I'll be covering an unsolved case in story format. I'll then give you my perspective on the investigation and provide contact information for the individuals or organizations connected to the case so that if you have any tips, you can contact them directly and maybe you can help solve the case. So if you're someone who's interested in true crime, specifically unsolved cases, whodunit? Yes, there's always mystery in every case that's unsolved, but with this one, I feel like we know, for the most part, the who. We just don't understand the why or the how, which are equally important, especially if we want to find Madalina. Now, why did this case resonate with me? Well, a couple of reasons. First off, it's relatively new. It's still very active. And if we're going to be able to do anything with this case, now is the time. And because this involves a child that's currently missing, time is still of the essence. And listen, I've worked a lot of different cases as a detective, as a private investigator, and I've also covered a lot of cases on Crime Weekly and now here on Detective Perspective. And I will tell you that the hardest cases for me to cover, and I've said this before, are cases involving children. And I can't help but be human and be a dad here. And as many of you know, I have two young daughters. One of them is 11 years old. So hearing about a case like this, and then also seeing a video of Madalina right before she went missing, the last sighting we have of her, I can't help but think about my own daughter and how I would feel if this happened to me. And it's without a doubt my worst nightmare. And even though I may not be able to solve this case on my own, I can use my platform to share information about this investigation in the hopes that one of you out there may be able to help solve this case and bring Madalina home. So with that all out of the way, let's dive into this week's case. Madalina Cojocari was born on April 11, 2011 to her mother Diana Cojocari. Now, unfortunately, we don't know much about Madalina's background except that she loves horses, playing games, the outdoors, and spending time with her friends. At some point, Diana married a man by the name of Christopher Palmer, and he became Madalina's stepfather. They all settled into a home at 18413 Victoria Bay Drive in Cornelius, North Carolina. By the fall of 2022.
And let me just add that this neighborhood is not a poor neighborhood. Christopher Palmer's got money, and they live in a very upscale neighborhood, which is very interesting to me.
2, Madalina was 11 years old and a 6th grade student at Bailey Middle School in Cornelius. On November 21st, she went to school like normal. The next day, Thanksgiving break began. But when school started again, Madalina didn't show up. The school tried to contact Diana multiple times, but she didn't reply. Police documents report that on December 12th, a Bailey Middle School counselor and a resource officer visited the Cojocari home to see what was going on, but no one answered the door, so they left a truancy packet. 2 days later, on December 14th, the counselor called Diana and requested a meeting to discuss Madalina's absences. Diana said she would bring Madalina to school the next day and they would discuss everything. But when Diana arrived on the 15th, Madalina was not with her. This was obviously concerning, so the counselor asked the school resource officer to come in. At that time, Diana revealed that she hadn't seen Madalina since November 23rd at around 10 p.m. when Madalina went to bed. Diana mentioned that she and her husband Chris argued that night. The next morning would have been the 24th, and Chris drove to his family's house in Michigan to, quote, recover some items. At around 11:30 a.m., Diana checked on Madalina and realized she wasn't in her room. However, according
See, that was a red flag to me. As soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, that's weird. Madalina's not in her room, and the stepdad went on a trip to Michigan. It was ding, ding, ding. That was a red flag for me, for sure.
to police documents, Diana didn't contact Chris to ask if he knew where Madalina was. She also didn't call the police. Instead, she waited until Chris got home around 7 p.m. on the 26th to ask if he knew where Madalina was, and he claimed that he didn't.
Hold up. That was another one. She waited until he got home. He was gone for like a week. And yet, Michigan is where he's from originally, Mickey. And that's where he has family. So he takes a trip to Michigan. He's gone for almost a week. Her daughter's missing, but she doesn't even call him to say, hey, Madalina's missing. Have you seen her? I don't like that at all. Again, it's all about the red flags for me, but without knowing that law enforcement has released anything, like, is it a coincidence? Like, it's really hard to say.
When the school counselor and resource officer asked Diana why she didn't report Madalina missing, she said she was worried it would cause a, quote, conflict between her and Chris. The resource officer then suggested Diana call Chris and ask him to join the meeting. The officer also requested 2 detectives to respond as well. When the detectives arrived, they interviewed Chris, and he explained that on November 23rd, he went to Michigan to pick up some items. He mentioned that he didn't see Madalina the day he left, and he thought the last time he saw her was a week before his trip. Chris said when he returned home on the 26th, he asked Diana where Madalina was, but she claimed she didn't know. He then asked Diana if she had hidden Madalina, and she again said no. In response...
Okay, see, y'all, what brings somebody to say, have you hidden Madalina? Because I feel like there is something that has happened in this relationship that brings somebody to ask a question like that. Because what family is going to just say, hey, did you hide this child? Hey, Bo, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Discovering the Truth. Discovering the Truth says, yeah, she claims she thought she was with Chris, but if it was me, I would have called him and asked and not wait till he got back. Absolutely. Hey, Dazed and Amazed. Thanks for being here. Was Chris abusive? That's a good question. That's a very good question.
She also asked him the same question, and he denied hiding Madalina as well. According to Chris, in the following weeks, he repeatedly asked Diana about Madalina, but she always said she didn't know where she was. Police documents state that the detectives also spoke to Diana. She explained that Madalina didn't have a phone and that her backpack and some clothes were missing from the house as well. She added that Madalina didn't have any local friends she could be staying with, and that they didn't have any local family due to Diana being from the Eastern European country of Moldova. Diana told detectives that she believed Chris might have put her family in danger, but she didn't elaborate any further, insisting that she had no knowledge of what happened to Madalina. Diana further mentioned that she had contacted her family in Moldova for advice, and they had told her to contact the police, but she was hesitant. After interviewing both Diana and Chris, the detectives visited the Cojocari house to search Madalina's room. She was obviously nowhere to be found, neither in her room or anywhere else in the house, and again, both Diana and Chris insisted they had no idea where she could be. Now, according to police documents, while inside, the detectives noticed a section of the kitchen blocked off with plywood. They asked about it, and Chris explained that they were planning to build a separate apartment there.
Okay, another red flag. That is another red flag. Let me stop it right here because I got to get back over here. I got to show y'all something. Let me see if I got that uploaded. There was a picture. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can find it. Of this very thing. All right, here we go. This is one of the pictures of that area. Why do you need to build an apartment inside your house? There's plenty of bedrooms. Explain it to me. Hey, Tomboy Charm. It's just such an odd case. Hey, Okie Crime News. Hey, darling. Hope you're doing good. Thank you, Chico, for being a member for 5 months. Happy Dutch Bus anniversary. Thank you, thank you. It's just so weird. It's very bizarre. Let's see if there's another picture. Oh, that's the grandmother going in there to get her stuff. They called it a secret room. That's what I remember about it. It was just so weird. That house is huge. What do you need to build an apartment inside the house for? Make it make sense. I just feel like it's important to know. I can't wrap my head around it. Okay, let's continue.
But there's no elaboration on what that actually entailed. Later that evening, the detectives returned to the house with a search warrant. They ended up seizing multiple items during the search, including Diana and Chris's cell phones. So what I think happened here is initially the detectives went to the house to ensure that Madalina wasn't there. It's a long shot, but there have been cases where detectives take the word of the parents, they conduct this huge search, and then ultimately they find that the child was hiding somewhere in the house. So you want to start there. And what I think happened is they had consent to go into the home. Diana and Chris probably invited them in. And then as they started to look around, they thought to themselves, there may be some things here that we want to take, and we don't want to tip them off before we have a chance to grab those items. And yes, technically with a consent to search, just a verbal consent to search, you could take those items and they more than likely would be admissible in court. But what's even better than that is a signed search warrant from a judge. And that's what they decided to do. So they probably left that scene making Diana and Chris feel comfortable. And then they went and got the warrant and came back and surprised them and said, hey, by the way, we're taking your phones. And that way they ensure that more than likely Diana and Chris were not tipped off and therefore deleted any type of forensic evidence on their phones or in the house that would be of value later on, which I think is a great move by the investigators. And they were probably looking for any signs of a struggle that would suggest something actually happened to Madalina in the home, or anything that would implicate Chris or Diana in Madalina's disappearance.
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So Derrick Dellinger, he is an anchor reporter from the Queen City News. And yeah, I was muted. I'm sorry. Yes, this is the case, Michelle, about the sofa. And we're going to talk about that. Derrick Dellinger is an anchor reporter for Queen City News. And Queen City News is out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and they have been reporting on Madalina's case from the very beginning. And Derrick Dellinger had shared a lot of information that he was finding out about the case for Madalina and about the search warrant. And here he talks about things that were in this wide net that they were taking in the search warrant, which was weapons, clothing, hair samples, any samples picked up from chemicals that pick up evidence of biological material, blood and body fluids. And in this report, it talks about that there are significant portions of the document that were blacked out and redacted. So there was lots of things that were not available to the public in this particular report. Among the details redacted were items that were seized in the 1221 search. It talks there was just a lot of information that they did not want to be available to the public. It was heavily redacted, and that's what all of this is about. It talks about the arrest sheet, the filing of the reports, how they were signed and executed. It talks about what the probable cause was, that they seized their phones, things like that. But heavily redacted. Here's where it gets interesting. Recently, there was an article by WCNC News, and some of that information was starting to get leaked from law enforcement. And there was actually a couple of pictures that was released to WCNC News that he just spoke about, them taking their phones. Like this, for example, is a picture of him and Diana and little Madalina, and that was on his phone. That's when they got married. And that was on their phone. And this was another picture from WCNC that they released. This was part of the information that they finally released. This was another picture on the phone of them together. Right, discovering the truth. Yes, Charlotte is nicknamed the Queen City. That is correct. I just thought that was very interesting. There's another picture of Madalina. Apparently that was at a Christmas before that. So stuff is starting to come out. Hey, Izzy. How you doing, love? Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. Yes, Nana, he is a former police officer. Yes, that's correct. He's a former detective. So I just wanted to point that out because I think it's very interesting. Because these things that he's talking about, like I said, this video is 7 months ago. But there's a lot that's happened since then. So, and I like the way that Derrick lays this out. I think it's very digestible and easy for us to understand. So let's continue. We'll rewind it just a few seconds. Let me see where we're at. Okay. All right, let's continue.
To Madalina in the home, or anything that would implicate Chris or Diana in Madalina's disappearance. Now, before we continue on, let's take a quick break. Allowing them to prevent. They're also luxuriously comfortable without used in some 5-star hotels, causing more breakouts and made sheets today.
I don't need any
You'll
sheets.
also get 3 free 30-day money-back guarantee.
We're good.
So after searching the Cojocari home, the Cornelius police brought in the FBI and the State Bureau of Investigation, also known as the SBI. On December 16th, the FBI issued a missing persons poster for Madalina. The following day, on December 17th, Chris and Diana were arrested and charged with failure to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. Both pleaded not guilty. According to the Charlotte Observer, during Diana's initial hearing, the prosecutor told the judge that Diana reported Madalina missing reluctantly and had impeded the investigation into her disappearance. The prosecutor expressed concerns that if Diana were to be released on bail, she might continue to obstruct the investigation. Diana's bond was set at $250,000, while Chris's was set at $200,000. Now, while the couple sat in jail, the police focused on figuring out the last time anyone other than Chris and Diana had seen Madalina. They eventually found out that she was last seen getting off the school bus near her home on November 21st. On December 20th, 5 days after the police realized Madalina was missing, they released video footage of Madalina exiting the bus. They told the public that they were looking for witnesses outside of the family to narrow down the exact time she disappeared. The Cornelius police then displayed banners and missing person posters outside the police department to remind people about Madalina's disappearance. They also frequently posted on social media, urging people to share Madalina's story. On December 22nd, the police released a letter written by an unidentified extended family member of Madalina's. The letter expressed the family's sadness and shock over Madalina's disappearance. They said they were doing everything they could to find her and bring her home, and they asked everyone to share her poster and call in tips. By December 28th, investigators had searched various places around the city and state, gone door to door at more than 245 homes in the area, and pursued over 250 leads worldwide. A Cornelius police captain told the media, quote, "This is a serious case of a child whose parents clearly are not telling us everything they know." By early January 2023, the police had received information suggesting Diana might have been in Madison County, North Carolina after Madalina was last seen and before she was reported missing.
There's that second trip right there. And at the time, I had wondered if, why she had taken that trip. Like, was Madalina somewhere and she was taking Madalina to meet somebody? I mean, it was all very strange. Discovering the Truth says, "I'm just curious if Ellie ever questioned Diana's brother in Asheville. Surely they at least know about him, because I could find him." They could, because I'm no detective. I'm pretty sure they probably spoke to many people in this case. I have no doubt.
They urged anyone who saw her in that area between November 22nd and December 15th to come forward. On April 11th, Madalina turned 12 years old. The Cornelius Police Department held a vigil to remind everyone that she was still missing. At the vigil, the Cornelius police chief said, quote, "Madalina is an energetic, vibrant 12-year-old girl who loves animals and specifically loves horses. A child in our community is missing, and we need your help to find her." Now, obviously, I love this. I love that the police department is going beyond what they're required to do. Yes, they're in charge of finding Madalina, but as I said at the top of the show, many of these men and women who work in this police department are fathers and mothers, and I'm sure just like myself, they can't help but see their own child when they look at Madalina. So it takes on a different role for them. And as much as we try to keep investigations objective and not personal, as a parent, that's extremely hard to do. And I think in this case where it doesn't feel like Madalina's parents are fighting for her, they know that someone has to keep her name alive. And that's what they're doing here. And I really respect it and I really appreciate it. Now, a few days after the vigil, the Charlotte Observer revealed that on November 30th, a few weeks before Madalina was reported missing, police responded to a call at the Cojocari household. Neighbors had contacted the police that afternoon to say that Diana was burning furniture in the backyard.
Key part, keep listening. And remember this, all of my people that have their little notepads and pens, I want you to write that down about the burning of the stuff, because we're going to talk about that in the update that I'm going to give you after this.
When officers arrived, they discovered Diana burning items, but unfortunately, no further details about this incident have been disclosed. In July, several new documents were released, which provided the public with a lot of new information. So let's walk through that now. According to these documents, when the police went through Diana's phone, they found a text from December 2nd where Diana mentioned she was with Madalina. This caught their eye because if you remember, Diana claimed the last time she saw her daughter was on November 23rd. On that same day, Diana had, quote, extensive communication with a distant relative. The police interviewed the relative, who mentioned that Diana and her mother asked if he would help Diana, quote, smuggle herself and Madalina away from their home.
I'm telling y'all, you better get your seatbelts on, because we're fixing to be in for a wild ride.
Diana went on to say that she was in a bad relationship with Chris and wanted a divorce. When investigators looked into this relative's phone records, they found several calls to numbers linked to ongoing drug investigations, and a warrant suggested a possible connection between the narcotics activity and, quote, human smuggling. So to give you a quick overview here, when we're doing a narcotics investigation, especially if it's a multi-jurisdictional operation, what we will normally do is enter any phone numbers that are coming up during our wiretaps into a database. And that's done for multiple reasons. Obviously, to document what we're seeing, what we're hearing, but also it's used for what's called deconfliction. So if another agency starts a drug investigation and they start to pop up similar numbers, it will notify them of existing agencies who are already working that case and have already identified those specific numbers. So more than likely, when they started entering this information into a database, having the FBI involved already, they probably pulled together their resources and noticed that some of the numbers coming up on this relative's records were also linked to ongoing investigations that were being conducted by either the FBI or maybe even the DEA. Now, as far as this human smuggling element, yes, whenever drugs are involved, you're going to find a lot of other crimes. In my experience, where there's drugs, there's going to be robberies, there's going to be larcenies, there's going to be sexual assaults, there can obviously be human trafficking, there can be murder. So yes, it's not a far-fetched to see, hey, listen, there's a large amount of narcotics activity going on here. There may be some human smuggling as well. And maybe due to multiple investigations that were being conducted, and again, when they put these numbers into the database, yes, it might have flagged something on the DEA end, but it also could have flagged something on the FBI or ATF where they said, hey, listen, same number being found in multiple investigations, one with narcotics, one with human trafficking. Either way, this is not a good thing when you're trying to find an 11-year-old girl. Now, after learning about all this information, Diana's car, a green 2008 Toyota Prius, was seized as evidence. When police brought in a canine to search the vehicle, the dog alerted to the scent of narcotics. The rest of the car was also searched, and in the set.
Isn't that interesting? Red flags popping up everywhere. And yes, Izzy, he was on Big Brother, but he's also a former detective. He's been on a couple of different crime shows, and he has his own platform where he talks about cases. And I will share his link if you want to go over and sub up to him. Again, all credit for this video goes out to Derrick, and this is his YouTube channel. If you want to go over there and check him out, please go subscribe to him. And you know, if you see this video, you can go over there and let him know that Duchess sent you.
Center console, investigators found Madalina's Moldovan and Romanian passports, Diana's Romanian passport, a Moldovan debit card, and miscellaneous education and work documents. According to police documents, investigators continued looking into Diana's whereabouts around December 2nd, and they learned that on December 3rd, she was seen at a service station in Hickory, North Carolina, getting an oil change on her car. The service attendant told police that there were children's toys in the car, but Madalina was not with Diana. The police were able to further determine that on December 4th, Diana traveled toward, quote, the North Carolina mountains, claiming to be searching for Madalina. Now, the documents did not specify which mountains she was heading to. Now, after all of this took place, the Sugar Mountain Police Department obtained surveillance photographs of a man and a young female in the area on December 16th.
And for anybody that doesn't know, Sugar Mountain, that is going up toward Asheville, North Carolina. If any of you are not familiar, Sugar Mountain is kind of like it's a resort. It's a skiing resort. We used to go skiing there a lot when I was younger. But it's in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So, and that's in Avery County, North Carolina. So near Banner Elk. It's located between Banner Elk and Grandfather Mountain, I believe. So it's about 20 minutes, I would say, from Appalachian State University, which is in Boone. And it's probably about 8 to 10 miles away from the Blue Ridge Parkway itself. Does that sound about right, Michelle? Thank you, Izzy.
According to police documents, the young girl in the images was physically consistent with Madalina, while the man looked like the relative that Diana had been talking on the phone with on December 2nd. Also on December 16th, Chris sent a message via Facebook acknowledging the family was, quote, in some kind of investigation. He said Madalina was missing and the police took all of their electronics except for an old phone and his personal computer. Chris said he believed the police overlooked the computer which Diana was using to call her parents. The following day, Chris and Diana were arrested. Now, you may think this is where this story ends, but we're just getting started. There's still a lot of information to cover, so we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay, so let's skip through this Factor commercial here. Okay. Chaptaz, thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. Happy anniversary for the Dutch Bus. Yay! I hope you're doing well. So good to see you. All right, here we go.
In the newly released documents, it was revealed that the police had been listening to Chris and Diana's phone calls from jail. In one call between Chris, his brother, and his sister-in-law, Chris mentioned that before their arrests, Diana had a lot of cash with her, and he didn't know where it came from. Chris also mentioned, quote, financial stuff coming up, but his brother reassured him not to worry about it. During a call between Diana and her mother, the woman discussed a bag of money, withdrawing cash, and a theory that Chris sold Madalina for money. The new documents also revealed that the police had placed a confidential informant in Chris's cell. This informant told police that Chris frequently wrote in a journal. When the informant checked the journal, he found out that Chris was recalling Madalina's disappearance and everything he could remember about it. The police later confiscated this journal, but no further details about what it contained have been released. Additionally, documents filed by Chris's attorneys revealed that while Chris was incarcerated, he, his lawyer, an SBI agent, and an FBI agent held a meeting. They discussed audio recordings indicating that Diana, quote, had a plan that didn't involve Chris, along with text messages that implied Diana's intentions to conceal Madalina from everyone, including Chris, without his knowledge. This marked the end of the new information provided, and shortly after its release, the police stated that the sightings of the man and young girl on December 16th were not in fact Madalina or the relative. They emphasized that the last confirmed sighting of Madalina was in fact when she got off the bus on November 21st. In August, Diana and Chris attended court hearings.
So did you guys catch that? The sighting that they thought was Madalina and the relative was in fact not her. Very, very interesting. Izzy, thank you so much for joining the Dutch Bus Squad. Welcome, welcome. It's so good to have you. I appreciate you so very much.
According to the Charlotte Observer, during Diana's hearing, her public defender mentioned that the prosecutors hadn't offered her a deal. At Chris's hearing, his attorney stated that Chris believes Madalina is being cared for by someone Diana, quote, assigned. At this hearing, Chris's bond was reduced from $200,000 to $25,000. He then posted bond and was released, while Diana remained in jail on $250,000 bond. So obviously, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors with these meetings involving these cases. But if I had to take an educated guess, what I would say, first off, bond is to ensure that someone will show up for their court appearance. And if you're a flight risk, that bond or bail will be higher. So in Diana's case, we've pointed out through this entire episode, she has friends and family outside the country, and it would be pretty easy for her to probably get out of the country if she wanted to, especially if she has the financial resources. So they're setting this bond to ensure that she doesn't flee the country and that she shows up for her next court appearance. With Chris, on the other hand, he's from the United States. His family lives in Michigan. And it appears from what we've gathered so far, he has been very cooperative with not only local police, but also federal agencies. So there's probably multiple factors at play here, and that more than likely explains the reduction in his bond while hers stayed the same. December 15th came and marked 1 year since Madalina was reported missing. The Cornelius police chief told WCNC that the investigation was still active and ongoing. He encouraged people to share Madalina's photo and submit tips. He said, quote, "We have poured our hearts and soul into this investigation over the past 12 months, and our goal is to find Madalina, and we are not going to stop until we do. I do believe Madalina is still out there, and someone has the information we need to help find her." On April 11th, 2024, the Cornelius police held a vigil to celebrate Madalina's 13th birthday. During the event, they set up a special birthday box in their lobby for community members so they could share their heartfelt wishes for Madalina. Now, the next major update in this case came just a few days ago on May 20th, when Madalina's mother Diana made the surprise decision to plead guilty to failing to report her daughter missing. She was sentenced to 6 to 17 months, but was released from jail as she had already served her sentence while awaiting trial. As she was being released, reporters asked Diana if Madalina was safe, and all she would say was, quote, "I hope so." Now,
Wow. Are you kidding me right now? I hope so. That's all she's got. This case really frustrates me.
because Diana is not an American citizen, it's very likely that she'll be deported back to her home country of Moldova. And unfortunately, Moldova does not have an extradition treaty with the US, meaning if she's deported or leaves on her own, it would be very difficult to bring her back to the States if more charges are filed. On May
Yeah, and that's like the main concern that I have, because if her mother had something to do with this, how is she going to face charges? Because I'm sure that Moldova is not going to hold her accountable for that. Thank you, Michelle, for dropping Izzy's channel. You got it back, Izzy? I'm so glad. I'm sorry that you lost monetization, but I'm glad you got it back. Thank you, Michelle, for dropping her channel.
May 21st, jury selection for Chris's trial started, and during the same time, WCNC obtained new court documents, including a summarized conversation the FBI had with Diana's cousin. The summary notes that Diana told her cousin she was in danger from a third party, not her husband Chris, and that she and Madalina needed to find safety. Diana mentioned that her plans to stay with Chris's family in Michigan had fallen through. She also stated that she needed help to leave Chris and that a medical excuse she provided to Madalina's school was about to expire. The interview summary also indicates that Diana's cousin had been communicating with Diana's mother, who was allegedly conspiring with Diana to help her and Madalina flee the country. The document states that Diana's cousin urged her to contact the police, but she refused. Diana said she had enough money to live for 2 to 3 months and was sending large sums of money overseas. Now, at the time of recording this episode, Chris's trial is ongoing, but if there's any significant
Question. Where did Diana Cojocari get large sums of money to send overseas to her family? Just a question, because she wasn't working. Was she sending Chris's money? Was she involved in something where she was making money illegally? Do you know what I'm saying? Because remember that when they found the silver Prius and pulled her over, that the dog hit on the car for narcotics. Yeah, exactly. Chico. Hit the nail on the head with that.
Updates, I'll be sure to keep you guys posted. Unfortunately, despite these updates, Madalina remains missing, and the Cornelius Police, SBI, and FBI continue to investigate her disappearance. They won't give up until they bring her home where she belongs.
And that's the truth. Cornelius Police Department has actually done an amazing job. I do have to give them a shout out because they have been relentless in trying to get answers about what's happened to Madalina. And as you know, law enforcement is not going to release everything that they know because they are building a case and they don't want us to know everything that's going on. I do remember that chap does. Chap says, does anyone else remember the weird videos that the mom was posting before the disappearance? Yeah. So it's very interesting. There's one more thing that I want to share with you guys, and then we're going to get to this update. So the Queen City News, let's see. This was another interesting article, and I want to share this one with you before we get to the update, because this is it's literally another update. This video, I do want to play this real quick. Hang on, let me see if I want to make sure that I shared that with the volume. Because sometimes when I share, I end up not sharing the volume, and then we go to the moon and all that stuff. Okay.
Bring you an exclusive interview tonight as the search for Madalina Cojocari continues.
This is a story that rocked this community when the little girl disappeared back in 2022. She was only 11 years old then. So Sunday marked 2 years to the day that Madalina's mother, Diana Cojocari, reported her missing to the school weeks after she was last seen getting off her school bus. Well, 2 days later, on December 17th, both her mother and stepfather were arrested and charged with failing to report her missing. Her stepfather, Christopher Palmer, remains on probation. Her mother went back to her home country of Moldova after being released from jail earlier this year. Well, WBTV's Claire Kopsky has been staying on top of all the updates in this case, and she's joining us now in the studio.
So obviously we know that this is a case that got local and international attention.
Absolutely. And the Cornelius police chief assured me last month in an interview that Madalina's case will never be a cold case as long as she is still missing. Now, many who knew her, though, are still worried about her well-being. I sat down in an exclusive interview with a woman whose granddaughter used to be Madalina's best friend. But she says that friendship had to change after an unexpected conversation with Madalina's mother, Diana.
We are bringing you the newest details.
And again, all credit for this video goes to WBTV.com. This is WBTV Channel 3 News on an update. And I did drop that link in the chat so that you guys can click on that and see this article and this video. And the title of this video is Grandmother of Madalina Cojocari's Best Friend Says Mother Wanted Payment for Playdates. And this article was actually from December 16th of 2024.
Details on the search for Madalina, the days ticking by and still no sign of the 11-year-old from Cornelius.
I don't want her to get forgotten.
Leanne Steffen remembers where she was when she got the call.
Just that shock of, this can't be happening, this can't be real. And just screaming in my car.
Her granddaughter's best friend, Madalina Cojocari, was missing.
And I just thought, no, you're not talking about her.
Madalina and her granddaughter met at school.
Here's going this way.
Wow. And became fast friends.
My granddaughter still wanted to play with, cats and toys. It was just an answer to my prayers that she would have a best friend.
After meeting Madalina's mother, Diana, and her stepfather, Christopher Palmer, the girls started having play dates.
I would go over there and go in the house. The living room was filled with toys, doll houses, horses, everything a girl could want, like never once did I suspect anything.
They played together after school about once a week when they were 8, 9, and 10 years old.
When they would see each other, my granddaughter would be like, Maddie! And they would just hug each other, and it was just precious what they had.
Leanne says several times they tried to have Madalina over to their house to play, but except for once, Diana always said no.
And she's like, we don't trust. I said, okay, I'd rather you were that kind of parent where you were overly cautious. And Chris seemed like an amazing stepdad. He really did. And Diana seemed like a loving, very protective mom.
But nearly 3 years into the girls' friendship, Leanne says Diana sent a text while the girls were playing together.
He said something along the lines of, I feel like you're taking advantage of me because you don't pay me.
Leanne says she assumed.
What? Okay, that was. You're taking advantage of me because you don't pay me? I've got to hear that again. Was that not strange? Let's take it back just a little bit.
Sent a text while the girls were playing together.
He said something along the lines of, I feel like you're taking advantage of me because you don't pay me.
Leanne says she assumed there had been a misunderstanding over text, so when she went to pick up her granddaughter, she spoke to Diana.
And I said, Diana, I go, we don't need you as a babysitter. I thought the girls were just playing. And she goes, no, you take advantage of me because I'm from another country. I said, no, not at all. I said, Maddie can always come to our house anytime. We'll be the ones who have to pick up their messes. No. And that's when she's like, I said, why? She's all, we don't trust. And that ripped my heart out.
In the months that followed.
Wow. I cannot even believe that. That is the most bizarre thing. So Madalina could come to this lady's house to play with her granddaughter, and that's all fine and good. But if her granddaughter came over to Madalina's house, Diana wanted to be paid because she's from another country and she feels like she's being taken advantage of. That is the most bizarre. Listen, I'm just telling you guys, this whole case has been mind-blowing to me. And to hear this woman share this story, I have no doubt that what she is saying is facts. Michelle says, who charges parents for your kid's friend coming to play with your child? That is not how it's done in America. Thank you. This is bizarre. Nonsense said, I've never even heard such a thing as paying for play dates. This is super weird. I got to take it back. I got to take it back because I can't even absorb this.
I feel like
Anna sent a text while the girls were playing together.
He said something along the lines of, I feel like you're taking advantage of me because you don't pay me.
Leanne says she assumed there had been a misunderstanding over text, so when she went to pick up her granddaughter, she spoke to Diana.
And I said, Diana, I go, we don't need you as a babysitter. I thought the girls were just playing. And she goes, no, you take advantage of me because I'm from another country. I said, no, not at all. I said, Maddie can always come to our house anytime. We'll be the ones who have to pick up their messes. No. And that's when she's like, I said, why? She's all, we don't trust. And that ripped my heart out.
In the months that followed, Leanne says there were more difficult conversations with her granddaughter, but she no longer felt she could let her play at Madalina's house.
I'm sorry. The reason why it's so emotional is because these two girls had each other. It was them against everybody else,
What haunts Leanne to this day is the what if her granddaughter had been playing here at Madalina's house the day Madalina went missing.
Sometimes I wonder, would both girls be gone? God, I hope not. So many hearts are going out and praying and hoping for her safe return.
Well, Leanne says even though that they have moved out of that neighborhood, her granddaughter still asks about Madalina, about where she is from time to time. Absolutely heartbreaking conversations. In that neighborhood, you saw the pictures. There are still yellow ribbons up on many of the mailboxes and on the front door of Madalina's house as well, which is a symbol to raise awareness for missing children.
Wow. And so the search for Madalina continues every day out there. The case is ongoing. When I'm saying Christopher Palmer filed for divorce from Diana Cojocari, back in June.
And their final divorce hearing is set for March 3rd. And we were discussing earlier that she has to kind of overcome some bravery to even talk about this. But what made her say, I really want to get the story out there?
Well, she said, I want to keep Madalina's story alive. They care for her. She was kind of a part of their family. Your granddaughter's best friend, and so they are hoping that she has a safe return.
I think it's really great that she shared that because the more you know. This story has me it's just very unsettling. You can also still find Madalina Cojocari on the NCMEC website right here. We're going to click on that. Here she is at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And again, she's also on the FBI website, and the mods have that link. They can drop that as well. Now let's get over to the information that I want to share with you guys. When I was perusing the internet and looking for some updates on some other cases, I came across a couple of articles that really broke my heart. And this one right here is from Queen City News. Again, we want to give them credit for their article. This was actually posted on my birthday, January the 18th at 11:14 a.m. Search warrants show what police were searching for at Madalina Cojocari's house. And I don't know if this video is going to talk to us about that, but let's go see what this video says. Hang on a second. Let's get down here. I want to get the video back to the beginning.
The obtained search warrants are revealing details about the investigation into the disappearance of Madalina Cojocari. Now, she's the young girl who disappeared in November of 2022. The search warrants reveal Madalina's mother, Diana Cojocari, used a messaging app to reach someone in Florida. She allegedly asked that person for help in leaving North Carolina with her daughter. The warrants also detail what investigators found in a backyard fire pit at the home Madalina shared with her mother and stepfather. Records show Madalina's stepfather, Christopher Powell, told authorities Madalina's mattress, clothing, Halloween costume, and some family photos were burned. Investigators also noted that carpet from an upstairs office and spare bedroom were also burned. Madalina's mother and stepfather were both arrested for failing to report her missing to authorities. Diana Cojocari is still considered a suspect in her daughter's disappearance and is expected to be out of the country.
Wow. Okay, Rapper, are you in here trolling me as myself?
A life in motion is a life well lived. At Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, we keep you moving.
Let me get over here. Hang on. Lord, I cannot. Give me 1 second. Easy, thank you for gifting a membership. I just saw that. I appreciate you doing that. If you received a membership from Izzy, please thank them. Rapper, don't come in here as myself and say, I don't like any of you guys. Unsubscribe to me right now, every one of you. I swear. If y'all see a clone of me, if y'all see me in a chat talking some weird mess, please let me know, because y'all know that that is not me. Cannot believe it. Pointer Lover, you have no idea how many accounts one person can make. These people are crazy. Anywho, back to what we were doing. I swear these people just get on my nerves. Chica. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know, Izzy. It's crazy. All right, let me share my screen. Y'all, this video that I just shared, like, this is so concerning. 30 search warrants were executed in relation to the arrest of Madalina Cojocari and Christopher Palmer, according to the court records. Those were all carried out in December of 2022, when 11-year-old Madalina was reported missing, and that happened throughout 2023. They seized a notebook, a folder, jail belongings, and communication on a phone app, but the records indicate a startling revelation about the family's property. When the Cornelius detective arrived at the home the day of the missing persons report, which was December 15th, he spoke to Diana's husband and Madalina's stepfather, Christopher Palmer. The warrant says that Palmer told him multiple items had been burned in a fire pit on the property, which we did hear about that, but we could not conclusively say if it was true or not, because law enforcement at that time did not release that information to the public. And Michelle and I had discussed that. because we were like, surely somebody is not going to burn furniture and personal belongings in an upscale neighborhood in the middle of Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But apparently that happened. The items in the fire pit, according to this warrant right here, included Madalina's mattress, clothing, a Halloween costume, and family photos. Carpet had also been removed from the home and burned in the pit. Y'all see that right there? A mattress, clothing, a Halloween costume, and family photos plus carpet. This tells me somebody was trying to get rid of evidence. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. And if you don't, tell me why. Now, of course, I felt this way from the beginning, but I didn't know if it was actually true, because I'm thinking that doesn't make any sense. How is somebody going to burn all of this stuff? Because we heard that it was a couch. How in the world are you going to drag a child's mattress out there and burn it in a fire pit? This was right before the police came to their home. This was right about the time that Madalina, the school was calling to say that she had not been back to school. This was the time frame that all of this happened, and they recovered all of these items when they commenced the search warrant in December of 2022. These items were found, but it was not disclosed to the public exactly what they had. Well, nonsense, you have a point. Well, it could be a distraction too. Let's say they took her out of the country and wanted people to stop looking at that and distract. So let's continue. Let's see what we've got here. The warrant states that officers located where dirt had been dug up and recently removed. Y'all, this is terrible. In October of 2023, a warrant was issued for the WhatsApp app used by Madalina Cojocari. It states that through phone records, officers determined that she received a WhatsApp message from a number based in St. Cloud, Florida, where Cojocari has an associate. The person reportedly asked her for assistance in helping Diana and Madalina Cojocari leave North Carolina. Both Palmer and Cojocari were charged with failure to report a missing person, and a week later, another warrant was issued to seize the contents of bags the couple had taken with them to the Mecklenburg County Jail. The warrant noted that upon their arrest, both Palmer and Cojocari had personal belongings, including wallets, credit cards, and jewelry that were not previously seized. I know, Chico. Chico says, and this is why I don't be using all those apps. Half of them help with trafficking. Ava, that's a good question. Can we FOIA her prison calls? I just want to know if she was acting batshit crazy or normal. Well, I think we already know how she was acting. And of course, here you see Cojocari pled guilty to the charge, and after being released on time served, she has left the country. Palmer was found guilty in a jury trial last June. Of course, he posted bond and got out of jail. The interrogation tapes released after the trial, Palmer told police that he did not fully realize Madalina was missing until December the 15th of 2022, which I find is weird, because if your kid is not in the house, how can you say that? Right? So let me find this other article. That I want to share with you. When I read that yesterday, I mean, I was just mind blown. I'm thinking this is not going to end well. And I'm very, very worried for this child. I'm not going to lie. Now, I did also see an article from another Charlotte news station. I'm going to share that with you now. Well, Cammie, Michelle is the queen of the FOIA. Right, Michelle? Lord, Lord, Lord. But yeah, since it's an open investigation, I don't know if they'll release them. Loves to Lurk, thank you for being here. Loves to Lurk says, we've tried 3 times with no luck. Dang it. Thank you for letting us know that. Hey, Cammie. Good to see you. Yeah, I'd like to hear them myself. If anybody gets them, let me know. We'll certainly look at them and discuss. I know, Angel, something is not right here. Chico, Michelle is the queen of the FOIA. If you need any help, I'm sure she'd be happy to assist in any way that she can. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate all you do, sis. Hey, Miss W. I'm doing good, Shug. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I know we might get some snow. I'm a little excited because we don't really see snow that much. And if it snows, I hope it snows deep. So I don't have to, so I can just lounge in the bed and not do anything. I appreciate you, Cammie. I understand. A lot of people tell me that they come over, but they don't want to chat, I guess, because of all the hate and stuff going around. And listen, if you're in the bushes, I still appreciate you being here and listening. And if you could just go over and hit the like, the dislike, whatever, it helps me get into the algorithm so we can get this information shared out there. I appreciate you, Ava, for being here. We're going to talk about more cases tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is Missing Flyer Monday. We're going to be doing that every Monday this year, talking about missing flyers. If you have a flyer that you want me to share, you can send it to me on my Facebook Messenger. You can share it and tag me in the flyer. If you're on Discord, you can send it to me. Or you can email me a flyer. You can just let me know, hey, can you please share a flyer for this particular case? And I'm happy to do it. Now, in this particular article, this is credit to WSOC. And I want to make sure that I give them credit. So I'm going to go over here and get the link to this article because I want to make sure that I give you guys the link to that. So again, this is WSOC out of Charlotte. And this is the link to this article right here. Amethyst, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. You are so amazing. If you received a membership to the Dutch Bus Squad from Amethyst Moon, aka Hoodie and a Crowbar, please thank her. Welcome to the Dutch Bus Squad, Cammie, Angel, Ava Hawkshaw, SRB, and Harley Yaya. Thank you, Amethyst. I really appreciate your support. Now, in this article, y'all look, it's 48 degrees in Charlotte right now. What's the temperature out here? It is 5:30. It's y'all, it's still 59 degrees here, but it's going to be 29 degrees tonight. It's going to start getting chilly. I can't believe it's still almost 60 degrees here at the beach. That's crazy. Okay, so in this article from WSOC, it says Madalina Cojocari could have been sexually exploited according to the warrants. And this is the article that I saw on Friday the 17th. And I was blown away. And according to this, it says a search warrant shows Cornelius police once believed Madalina Cojocari could have been sexually exploited. And the documents show police seized a phone weeks after Cojocari was seen getting off her school bus in 2022. The phone, here's where it gets crazy. The phone had 37 unread messages on a Discord account, an app where you can talk in private chat rooms. We have a Discord, but we don't do things like that over there. We just talk about cases. Okay? We don't be doing no nefarious stuff over there in the Discord. Oh, thank you, Alice. I'm so glad you're here. Miss W, it's already 45 in the upstate. Well, it's going to get 29 tonight, honey. It's going to get chilly. I think we will get some snow. You think Discord is evil? Yeah. For children, I absolutely agree, NorCal Gym. Now, I do have a Discord, but we basically just share missing cases. We share all kinds of stuff over there. We, weather alerts. We talk about things that are going on in the Carolinas, crime cases, cases that involve law enforcement, Amber Alerts, missing adults, missing kids. We have a channel for each case that we've covered so we can drop updates. We have a channel where Arctic Fox shares all of his videos. I share all of the flyers that I've made. It's just a place where we can share. We also share, just food recipes. We have a little place we can laugh. We have a place where we can pray. We have a place where survivors can share uplifting messages. It's just it's my little safe zone. We call it the moon. When I say I'm going to the moon, that's where I'm at, in my safe zone. Because we don't allow none of that. Like, I adhere to the Discord guidelines. We don't do things like talk about other people, talk about other creators, get in these Discord streams and just, no, none of that. Like, that's not what we do. Screwball, you love your heated seats. Right, NorCal Jim, we're just using Discord for the benefit, which is how it's supposed to be. But I have heard lots of nightmare stories about Discord. And to know there was a phone that had 37 unread messages on a Discord account, that really concerns me. And it says, police believe at the time that the account belonged to Cojocari, as in Madalina. I'm like, no, you've got to be kidding me. No, I do not use my Discord I cannot. To become a cult leader. I do not. I do not. Hey, Nature Rocks. It's so good to see you. Happy Sunday. Chico, we're not into that. Michelle's the queen. She won't let it happen. She will boot your butt so fast it will make your head spin. I don't know. Let's see. Why is it giving me this weird? I cannot even get this full screen. Yes, resize this. No, resize. I don't know why it wants to do that. I don't like that it's not letting me show this full screen because of this header. I don't like it. But there is a $25,000 reward. Let's see what this video says here. Is it going to play this video or what's going to happen here? Now playing above. Above what? I don't see crap. Okay, now I'm aggravated with this. I'm gonna have to go to something else. WSOC. I wish you'd fix this header on your articles. Note to self. This is just terrible. Do y'all think it's possible she could have been trafficked? I mean, y'all, I've showed y'all all the information in this case, and this just sounds crazy.
Newly obtained search warrants are
Oh,
revealing.
we did watch that one. We did see that one. Okay, I wanted to make sure we'd covered that. Yeah, all of these other articles and videos, you know. Warrants allege that key evidence may have been destroyed in the days after Madalina Cojocari was seen alive. Yeah, how sad.
Once upon a time, in a land not so far away.
Oh my gosh. Let's get on to it.
I'm Jane Monreal. Tonight, WCNC Charlotte is uncovering new details in the missing child case of Madalina Cojocari, the Cornelius girl who was last seen getting off her school bus in November 2022.
Yeah, court documents we got our hands on today show at the start of the investigation, detectives believe Madalina's case involved sexual exploitation. WCNC Charlotte's Julia Kaufman has more on what we uncovered today.
For years, we've been asking, where is Madalina? Now we finally have an idea of what investigators believe could have happened. This search warrant says the investigation involves the believed sexual exploitation of a child victim. About a month into the case, detectives filed a warrant to obtain 37 unread messages on a phone that police seized. The messages were on a
WCNC Charlotte is uncovering new
I don't know why it started back over. Why did you start back over? Hang on. Let's go back up. I want to find this part. I do not want you to send me notifications. I want to get to this. She's holding up this warrant. I really would like to see these papers. Right here, in the matter of Discord user ID, according to the policies and procedures of Discord, then that shall also be accepted as a valid delivery option. Disclosure of search warrant to reported user. Discord's policy is to notify people who use our service of request for their information prior to disclosure. And then it says, these are exceptional circumstances such as child exploitation cases, emergencies. This investigation involves the believed sexual exploitation of minor child victim, of which are believed to be under the age of 18. As such, the user reported by Discord, and then it has the information redacted, should not be notified of the existence or execution of this search warrant for at least a period of 90 days from the date of its execution. Doing so could jeopardize an ongoing investigation and could give this individual an opportunity to flee or destroy evidence. Hey, Meg, thank you for being here. Amethyst says, I wish the other channels would see the difference in cases. This case, law enforcement is stating they believe there is trafficking. This case needs attention, and we have law enforcement giving their suspicions on the case. Absolutely. Now, listen, did I not have my own thoughts about that something was very wrong from the very beginning of this case when I found out that she was not reported missing for almost 3 weeks. She was missing for 3 weeks, and that the school had reported her truancy, and they had been contacting the mother wanting to know why Madalina had not been at school. And the mother did not even respond. And then when they called the meeting, Madalina's mother showed up. Christopher Palmer was not in town or whatever the case was. She went to school and said she didn't know where her daughter was after 3 weeks. I'm sorry. Yes, I did have all the red flags. Am I going to come over here and vilify the parents without the factual information? Do I think it's wrong that her and the stepfather did not report Madalina missing? Absolutely. Did they go to jail? Absolutely. Did they serve their time? Absolutely. Do I think there's more to this? Yeah, I do. But I have to wait on law enforcement. This case right here is only 3 hours from me. Madalina is a victim. I believe in my heart of hearts, Madalina didn't have any say in what has happened. I don't know if Madalina is alive. I don't know if she has gone back to Moldova. I don't know if she's been trafficked. I don't know if something nefarious has happened to her, considering that the search warrant that we just watched the video on showed that all of this evidence, things that law enforcement state is critical evidence, has been destroyed in a fire in the backyard. This is crazy. And now we have this. They knew this from the beginning in 2022. This is 2025, and we are just now finding out about it, which speaks to the point that when I cover these cases, anything is possible. I'm simply here to share the awareness because we want to bring these missing children and missing adults home. Is it beneficial to go out on a limb and criticize and put out misinformation and disinformation that we don't have any factual information to stand on? I don't believe it's helpful because I believe that's interfering in investigations. Sometimes we have to be patient and we have to allow law enforcement to do their job. Do all law enforcement agencies investigate missing cases the same way? No, they do not. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But I will tell you that Cornelius Police Department has done an excellent job at trying to continue to keep they have held vigils. The police department every year has held a vigil for Madalina Cojocari. And that's more than I can say for other law enforcement agencies. And I remember back at the very beginning of this case, Michelle, I don't know if you remember, but there was another creator on YouTube, and we actually sent money they went to Cornelius, and we all donated, and they went and provided lunch for 2 or 3 days for the police department because they were out there working so diligently on this case. And this creator who went to that area actually went up there and bought them lunch for 3 days and served the department because we were very grateful for all that they did. And anyone who is in my Discord can go in Madalina's channel and they can scroll back and they can see all of that. Hey, Mind of Monsters, it's good to see you, hun. Happy Sunday. But we have to stand up for the victims, and they deserve dignity and respect because whatever has happened to Madalina, I guarantee you it's not because she agreed to it. This just sounds like a bunch of self-serving adults that only care about themselves. But is it helpful for me to go and express that right off the bat without having all of the information? I have to put my faith in the people who we have set in motion to be able to have discovery, to collect the evidence, to get all of the information so that it can go forward in a court of law. Does it make
Once
me
upon a time.
Does it make me angry? Yes. Yes, it infuriates me that they are not doing more, and they haven't found more. But are they able to do that? You know, have they really been able to get the information that they need? Law enforcement has to keep important information like this close to the vest. And you read it right there in this particular document that I just showed you. Sharing this information publicly gives the person an opportunity to destroy evidence, make changes, alter things, or possibly flee the country. That right there, that statement alone should apply to every missing case where people think, well, the parents could be responsible. That goes to Sebastian Rogers' case too. Just because I had the parents on for an interview, when that happened, I was asked to do that by the family, and it was to help share factual awareness that the family wanted to get out. Had I made an opinion about what I thought? No. I was just there to help this family in their time of need get out the information that they felt was so imperative because Katie was so distraught and worried, and she wanted people to know the information because she wanted her son to come home. Now, I still have thoughts and feelings about different things in Sebastian's case, but is it helpful for me to go out there and voice a bunch of opinions based on things that I don't really have all the information on? No, it's not. I have to trust that law enforcement is doing their job and that they are handling this in the way that they see fit. And we must let them carry out their investigation, because when the time comes, they will let us know exactly what's going on. If people are guilty, then guess what? They are. And they'll be tried in a court of law, and they'll have to stand, and we'll have to accept it. Because the only thing that matters to me is these missing children being found and being found safe, because we want them to come home. There needs to be closure. And that's why I have my channel. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the truth. I'm here for the facts, because that is what matters. And I appreciate everyone that comes to this channel to hear the factual information so that, and listen, you can have your opinion and we can talk about it. And look at all the information that we have learned on Madalina's case. But look how much time has lapsed, guys. This case started in November and didn't even get reported by the family until December the 15th of 2022. It's January of 2025. And we are just now finding out that this is a possible case of sexual exploitation of a minor. And that evidence has been destroyed in a fire. Confirmation from law enforcement. Mind of Monster says, what's sad is each law enforcement department is trained differently. We have a missing case here in Florida in a small town, and the sheriff didn't know what Namus was. Same here. We have that. I've seen that. I've actually talked to, when I did Tyler Dole's case, DNR doesn't cover missing cases, and they had no idea what Namus was. They didn't even know how to report a missing case, which is why they should have turned it over to law enforcement, but he didn't want to do it. And that doesn't give any justice for the family. It doesn't get any help for the family. And that's what we're here to do. Thank you, Sugar. I appreciate that so much. We can't fathom what law enforcement may know about these cases. So I just ask, when you go into these other chats and you go in to listen to these cases, be mindful where you sit. Be mindful of the things in the constructive or non-constructive conversations that you listen to. Be mindful of the company that you keep. I try to be kind and give people a chance. But if you hear somebody sharing misinformation and calling the parents' names, listen, if you cannot even call the parents by their legal names and you have to make up a name like St. Edgar the Fourth because you are trying to troll them, what does that really say about you as for your character, who you are as a human being in the real world? For me, it doesn't say much at all. And I don't have any respect for that shit. These people deserve dignity and respect. And how do you think these children would feel if they're found safe and they have to go back and hear all the disgusting, trashy things that have been said about their parent or their loved one being dragged around on the internet? We don't have to live with that, guys. But these families, they will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. That's why it's always better to just, if you don't have anything nice to say, it's better just to keep it to yourself. It's not always necessary. Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean everybody needs to hear it. If it's not constructive, why share it? Because people need attention. People feel like, I got something to say. And listen, if you've also got to go on a live stream to talk about a missing child and sing the hokey pokey, and you think that that's making everything better, you need to go have your head checked, because none of that makes any sense either. I've never been more disgusted than I have in 2025 at the stuff that I see on this app. So I just encourage you guys, if you see something, say something. And that includes if you see people out there doing stuff on live streams, talking about misinformation, disinformation, spreading lies, spreading rumors, sopping up the trauma drama, be mindful of that, because it's only hurting these victims and their families. Because how are they going to get true justice, guys? How are they going to get true justice? I know, Pointer Lover, it's ridiculous. I mean, we're all grown adults here. And the fact that we have people acting like they're in middle school, it's bully behavior. Amethyst said, absolutely no person is an island. We all have connections to others, and those connections can be hurt and violated by others. People need to be respectful and mindful of victims and loved ones. Yeah, I've had to just respectfully part ways with people who may support my channel. Nothing personal. But I can't stand beside people who are engaging with the very people that are causing disruption and harm to these open investigations in these cases. That's not what I believe in. It's not what I stand for. I don't have any personal vendettas or issues with people, because this is the internet. The people that I know personally are my friends that know me, that we talk on the phone, that I commiserate with in my real life. But these internet relationships, I just want you guys to be careful out there and be mindful. Take breaks. Go touch grass. Breathe in the fresh air. Go handle your real life. The unfortunate part about these cases is that the families, when they log off the internet, that's still their real life. And these people are out here destroying their real lives. And they'll have to live with that forever. Exactly. Now I'm going to stay in my lane. I got a shirt that says that. So I just encourage y'all to please go out there this week. Support the people who are trying to do the best in these cases to get out the factual information, and try to take a break from some of these other people that are just like, if you're into the drama stuff, like, go do that. But just be mindful, because the hate bonding is real out here right now. And I just don't think it's really helpful for a lot of subscribers. I just want you guys to remember that. Exactly. Protect your peace. Because we got lots of cases that we need to discuss, and these are very serious topics. These are very serious topics, and I take what I do here very serious. So please continue. Please share this live stream out for Madalina, because she deserves justice. I don't know where Madalina is, but Madalina, if you're out there and you ever see this live stream, if you ever see your missing flyer going on around social media, you see these videos, the news stories, I want you to know that people do care, and they just want to know that you're safe and that you're okay. And if you have an opportunity where you can reach out to someone that can put you in connection with the FBI, please do that. Please have someone to call law enforcement to let them know where you are and to let them know if you're okay, because there are so many people that are worried about you and what's happened to you. So if you're out there and you can get somebody, if you're with family, like, just let somebody know that you're okay if you're able to do that. Because we're not going to stop thinking about you. We're not going to stop praying. We're not going to stop sharing your case. This is the newest flyer that I made for Madalina Cojocari. This was the original flyer that I made for her back in November of 2022 that had her stepdad and mom on the flyer. How my flyers have changed. But this is her most recent flyer. They did not begin investigating till December 15th, 2022, but she actually was last seen getting off the school bus on the evening of November 23rd and has not been seen since. There is a $25,000 reward leading to Madalina. If you have information that will lead to Madalina, please contact the Cornelius Police Department at 704-892-7773, or you can contact your nearest FBI office and they will put you in touch with the Charlotte FBI location and get all of your information over there. And I will be sharing this out on my YouTube community wall, as well as my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, because no longer TikTok, because apparently I deleted the app and, well, I can't get back on my TikTok. And we're going to continue to fight the good fight. We're going to continue to show respect to these families and the missing victims. As you should, Angel. As you should. Yeah, I'm thinking about making a shirt for my bonfire that we can use. I'm actually in the process of working on that now. So it is good to unplug. Well, thank you, Titanium. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm an artist, and I make a lot of digital things for people. So that's what, when I started my channel, that was the one way that I could pay it forward, was to make free missing flyers for people. So if you see this, please do share it out. I will, Chico. I'll check into it and see if I can get back on there. So I hope everybody has an amazing Sunday. I'm sure Nonsense might be live. Who knows what might be in store for this evening. Just make sure you got your tinfoil hats and your seat belts and your bib waders, all the necessary things, your holy water, your sage. I don't know. We still need to make that list for the t-shirt of all the things that we need in order to cover these cases and talk about the hard stuff, because there's difficult things that we have to talk about, and it is difficult, but it's important. It's important that we have these conversations and we keep the awareness going, because if we don't do it, who is going to talk about these cases? Who is going to keep their names out there with respect and dignity? And Madalina deserves that. All of these missing families and their missing loved ones deserve that. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for joining me for this live stream. We will be live tomorrow to talk about more missing flyers. And I'm actually going to go on a little early. I have an early morning appointment on Tuesday. Hubby does have a stress test tomorrow, so I'm going to be going to that with him. And I wanted to go back over and just thank FARQ for gifting 2 memberships, for COK for her anniversary for a month with the Dutch Bus, and Amethyst gifted 5 memberships and then gifted 5 more memberships. Amethyst, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. Such a blessing. Thank you again to Sharon Johnston for donating $5. I'm hoping that Sharon is going to have a live stream with me very soon to give us some updates on Amber Ray Johnston's case. And I wanted to let you guys know very quickly that the 26th, which is next Sunday, that will be Tyler Dole's anniversary of him going missing, and we will be going out to Cherry Grove Beach, to the Point. Shay has invited me to go out there to pay our respects for Tyler Dole. So I will be doing that next Sunday with Shay and her family. And I do believe that Shay is going to get in touch with me, because she says that she would like to have a live stream where she can come and talk to us about where things are going in Tyler Dole's case. And I know I have a lot of people that were here for Tyler Dole's case, but we've not been able to talk about it because SLED asked me not to. So she's going to try to come on and maybe give us an update if she's available to do that. So I wanted to let you guys know we do have some things in the works. And as soon as I'm able to get that scheduled at their convenience, we will be doing that. And I'm also going to be scheduling a live stream probably for next Thursday. And we're going to try to look at Dylan Ehler's interview with Global News. And I'm going to bring you some updates that Jason has shared with me. So we've got some live streams coming up. Also, Nana L, thank you so much for being a member and joining the Dutch Bus today. I really appreciate that. Chico Corrupt Chronicles, thank you. We're celebrating your 5-month anniversary here on the Dutch Bus, and I appreciate that so much. Also, Chapped Ass, thank you so much for your 9-month anniversary with the Dutch Bus. I appreciate you. And welcome, Izzy, to the Dutch Bus Fair Card. I'm so happy that you joined us, and you also gifted a membership, and I just wanted to thank you for that so very much, for supporting me. And I appreciate you being here. So I hope you guys all have an amazing night. I appreciate all of my moderators, and I appreciate all of my members and my subscribers. You guys mean so very much to me. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. So I might see you around the YouTube streets. So don't forget to like and share, and I'll catch you guys later. If you need any links, it's in the description of this video. And you can also find all my social links in my About section. Take care, guys. Catch you later. Bye, y'all.